If you've ever asked for no pickles, but then got them anyway, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and maybe even flip the table in anger. It is great to see everyone back here today. Happy Wednesday. This is our penultimate day of the week here. Remember, we've got a synthetic Friday or the end of the week tomorrow as the market is closed for Good Friday, but we have some stuff to trade before that. Market Sniper, I want to address your question just solo before we even start here. Why does pre-market prep get to run 10 minutes and live trading sometimes ends 15 minutes early? That's not right. This is all because of the number of likes. The low man on the totem pole, unfortunately, has to do some of this, and pre-market prep is an institution that's been running for a long time. So when I ask you guys to please hit that like and subscribe button, please know that it does more than just float a little heart up on the stream. There are actual things that you can do by doing that. But enough of that. Let's get down to brass tacks here. I'm going to bring on my main man, 13. 13, how you doing here today? Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day.
Oh, thanks, man. Happy day to you guys. And things are looking pretty good today. I mean, we're seeing a lot of biotechs. So this is interesting. I think we have some things to talk about.
We do have some things to talk about. Pre-market prep did run a little bit late. That's totally fine. I think Tim Seymour is an absolute G. And for those of you that are interested in the pot sector here in the market, Tim Seymour is definitely an ally there. So awesome stuff. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's first start out by talking about the SPY. Stop me if you've seen this before. Sure looked like we were going to roll over yesterday. Oh my God, we're going to come in, and here we are higher today. So we will see. Do we go to new highs here today? Do we really have a blast off and push to new highs? Do we kind of trade in a range and then set those new highs tomorrow before the weekend? I'd like to hear the opinions there from the chat. So you guys let me know what you're thinking here. This is just the same pattern here. It's the staircase up, little bit of a pullback, new highs, just wash, rinse, repeat the whole thing over. What do you got on the SPY here?
Yeah, just, another instance of the same pattern that we've been talking about repeating. We still need to see if we can break out into new all-time highs, so that remains to be seen. But we are setting up quite nicely. Since that last move down to the 20-day SMA, we've been forming a bit of a bull flag. So the next step is to just take out the highs that we made. That's the only thing that's next on deck for this formation. I don't have anything beyond that. We either need to see that those new all-time highs, or we need to see more consolidation and eventual downside. So that's just what I'm waiting for at this point, just to see what happens next.
Okay, let's keep it rolling here. About 14 minutes till the market opens. This is a reminder that the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool, the best prop firm out there. If you need to get above that day trading threshold, Trade the Pool is a very easy way to do that. It's also an easy way to get up to $250,000 of buying power if that's what you need for your trading. Check them out. Nice guys. They also help pick stocks in play, and here they are. So here are some of the stocks in play, courtesy of Trade the Pool. We've got Marvell, Donut, and Merck. Now, I know that there was a lot of discussion about Krispy Kremes yesterday. I'm going to try and just call them Donut instead of Krispy Kreme because I don't want to think about donuts this early. I don't want to eat them. Don't want to eat them. But we'll see if we can actually trade them here today. I do have a couple of setups that we're going to go to. Let me just really quickly roll through that here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, first one on the list here is Merck. Here is going to be your range, 129, the bottom end of that range. And I got 132.88. Let's call it 133, the top end of that range. We're going to be looking at that one. We got Donut here, bottom end of the range, 1729, top of the range, top end of the range, 1870. Jay Rice saying D-Nut. This was the highest volume ever yesterday. So it looks like that news of Krispy Kreme being included in McDonald's was positive for the market. So there you go. Last one here was going to be Marvell. This is actually one that we discussed yesterday on the happy hour. Nice to see this carving out a pretty tight range up here, 71.78 on the upside, 70.84 on the downside. The other thing about this particular one, let me go back to Pro here. If we take a look at the daily chart here, there's actually a bit of a setup, it would appear. Today, looks like we're really kind of curling off this $65 handle, maybe making a curl back towards the top here on the daily. Today's candle, we'll see where we close, but today's candle has taken us above that 50-day moving average. Let's see if we get a close and maybe some more move above that on Marvell. I think that's all I had here for the trade the pool watches. Let me flip over to the movers real quick, and we'll start with the stocks that you folks are already asking about. Yeah, there's no way we were going to let the market open without talking about iBio here. iBio, this stock up 130% in the pre-market. Keep that in mind if you go to trade this. We do have a catalyst here. iBio shares are trading higher after the company collaborated with Astral Bio for AI drug-powered antibodies for obesity and cardiometabolic diseases.
Buzzword.
Okay. Buzzword, but not only, we actually are fusing two different themes and buzzwords together here. We've got obesity, which has been running rampant with the Ozempic type drugs, the GLP drugs, and we have AI. So we have got the power of AI helping cure obesity. I mean, who knows here? iBio, sky's the limit based on this PR. You know, the one thing, 13, I'm just going to go right to you because you had the best morning on this one. You were taking a look at previous patterns for iBio. What did you notice?
Well, one of the things I noticed, because I like to, when it comes to these biotechs, I like to see how they're raising money so they have enough of a cash runway to keep going along with their different phases of development. And when I noticed about this one is that this company has done a lot of secondary offers, had a lot of reverse splits. So maybe they're finally hitting pay dirt, but they also just announced a 50 million private placement. Now, one of the things that's interesting about this is how we just had that announcement with McDonald's and Krispy Kreme, and now all of a sudden we're getting news about obesity drugs. So I don't think that's really a coincidence. There's some other ones that I've noticed that are moving this morning, but the news is pretty good. This is definitely not something I would want to hold, given how many times they've had to raise cash and then reverse split. So this is simply just a day trade. Once the trade is over, I don't want to see this again until the next catalyst.
Okay, well said there. I'm with you there on iBio. Number of raises, number of offerings and reverse splits and the whole 9 yards. That's the spiral of doom for some of these small caps here. I mean, just the larger, you know, we've talked about there's being some things that I just can't trade on a morality basis. Like I won't own cigarette companies after losing family members to cancer, so on and so forth. This is really actually starting to bother me. I'm putting it aside, at least for right now, but it's something that I'm definitely thinking about. Number of companies saying, hey, eat our unhealthy mega processed foods. Oh, you're fat and unhealthy? Well, take this injection and take this drug. And whatever happened to just eating clean and exercising?
It's too hard.
It's too hard. This entire thing here, not great. Not great for our future, but in the meantime, right now, we're going to trade the information and the stocks and the targets in front of us. So it is what it is. Definitely don't like where things are going here, though. That's just a commentary as an aside. We'll put that aside in order to make money. However, okay, iBio definitely on the list, probably the top mover here today. Again, though, up 140%. So if you buy this, be careful. Next one on the list here is going to be LIXT. This is Lixty Biotechnology. As you were saying, 13, it does seem to be a biotech day here today. Here's the next one. We actually had an impulse move that took us right to 380. We backed off and came back down to 3, held that, and then a new impulse move up to 4, setting new pre-market highs. They've actually had 2 runs here, both of them on volume. Volume looking pretty good. I would say as long as the volume actually holds into the regular session, this one likely also on deck here. Catalyst, new scientific publication shows LB100, lead clinical compound, can force cancer cells to give up their cancer-causing properties. Now, I'm no doctor, researcher, or scientist, but man, oh man, does that sound good, 13. That is a heck of a PR this morning.
Yeah, that's some really important information. If they can actually make good on that, that would be huge, in my opinion. But the thing is that they're still in the proof of concept phase with this. Then this, that particular drug that they're talking about works together with another cancer treatment. This was, tested in colon cancer with a colon cancer treatment in patients that had that. So that's about as far as it's gotten. It hasn't gone through a series of trials yet in order to determine its efficacy and how safe it is. But With a publication like that, that's definitely something that makes me want to keep this on my radar. Maybe something later on this comes out of this news, but I think this is something definitely to watch with a publication like that.
Yeah, definitely. And even right now, as we're talking here, 13, this looks like this is kind of gearing to break through that 4 level. So we'll see if we end up getting that here. I got to be honest with you. I completely missed this earlier, and it's just simply too good not to repeat to the group. You guys can buy iBio, but I know bio. Let's go, Jay Rice. Weren't you going to get weren't you going to have like a hip replacement today? Awesome to see that you still have an amazing sense of humor, even on the day of surgery. That's actual strength right there. Good luck, my man.
He doesn't need a hip replacement when he's that hip.
I was gonna say that is pretty awesome. Okay, so LIXT, this one definitely going to be in play today. You guys know that DJT is going to be in play today. Trump Media and Technology Group core shares trading higher following the stock's NASDAQ debut. Really no news there. They just changed the ticker. That was news yesterday, but here we are drifting up in the pre-market. One of the things that I would actually watch for on this is a knife. That to me would actually set up a day trade a little bit better here, as opposed to this thing just kind of running all day and ramping and really kind of getting out of hand. Would love to see this kind of knife shake out weak hands, give you an actual spot to enter, and we'll see if we get a trade that way here. DJT, you have any levels on this, 13?
Could very well happen. I have a lot of levels on this, but for downside target, if we do get that knife and it just continues to go down and down and down, I think that there might be some support at around 51.50.
That was amazing. When you said down and down and down, the thing just went up and up and up. So it looks like we're actually going to have to, yeah, we're actually going to have to test that in the regular session and see how much mind control you actually have over this particular stock. That would be something else. Okay, next here on the list, I know we're running out of time, folks. I want to get through as many of these as I can. 5 minutes till we open here. Next one's going to be ticker NVCR, November Victor Charlie Romeo. This is NovoCure. NovoCure shares are trading higher after the company METIS phase 3 trial met its primary endpoint, demonstrating statistically significant extension time to intracranial progression for brain metastasis for non-small cell lung cancer. Another lung cancer PR. This fits into the biotech theme that you outlined here at the beginning, 13. This stock unlike some of the smaller price stocks, this stock's actually in the double digits. This stock pushed all the way up to 1869. Nice. And then pulled all the way back to 15. Looks like it's trying to bounce here. Got the VWAP at 1660. So we got about $1.30 worth of range between where we are right now and the VWAP. That alone might make a decent scalp trade. So NVCR, you got anything else on this one?
Yeah, that phase 3 trial that they just announced the completion on. That's usually to me a sell the news event, because that means that their trial phases are finished, and the next step is to bring the drug to market. That's going to be typically expensive, and it might not be a problem with them because they have a pretty sizable amount of cash on hand. This does have a 76, almost 77 million share float, so not going to be as easy to move around. And it might not. I don't know how this is going to trade today. You might just want to set some levels and just kind of see how what the price action is telling you. But they do have a small short interest of about 8% with 6.36 days to cover. This one I'm not as enthusiastic about. Doesn't mean that it couldn't go back up to the pre-market highs that it made, but I'm not 100% sure we're going to see those highs again. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I'm not sure. Just kind of play it by ear and see what happens with this one.
Yeah, I like the thesis here, or the thesis. I like the idea of kind of just waiting this out. Let's see what happens. Let's see actually how it trades here. Real quick, Pace. This is ticker PAYS, Paysign. Paysign shares trading higher. The company reported better than expected Q4 financial results. Looked like this traded up to about 440, pulled back to about 380 here, still up about 12% here in the pre-market. You got anything on Pace before we move on?
Just that they had the ER beat and strong guide. It's almost 42 million shares in the float. For this one, maybe wait and see what happens after the open. It looks like it's headed down, but it could recover after the open. So that's going to be what I'll be watching for, see if we get a recovery.
Okay, there we go. Next here is going to be SMR. This is New Scale Power. Looks like this is actually pushing fairly recently here. Didn't see any news on this one. This looks like kind of a late addition here to the movers tool. I do want to get through a couple more of these. I know we're running out of time. We'll come back to SMR if you have anything on this 13. Next, I do want to mention Hood. This is trading up because Robinhood shares are trading higher following the keynote event and the announcement of the company's gold card. Yes, the card is actually gold plated. Vlad Tenev showed it on CNBC this morning. Looks pretty cool. 3% cash back on everything. Stock trading above $20 here today. Looking like it's going to try to make a run towards 21. That's going on with Hood. Again, real quick, I just want to go through these. Hoth is back. This actually popped up to 2, retraced the entire move. What have we learned about Hoth? That no matter what this does for popping, it's almost always going to come back. We're seeing more of that here. CLSK, this one we've talked about. This really doing a good job holding its move, actually breaking out from that move and going higher here on CLSK. And then next here is obviously going to be Mara. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin on the futures, 71,500, real strong here this morning on strong volume. Mara seems to be reacting to that, at least so far. Okay, let me flip over to my main workspace. We are under a minute until the market opens. In fact, we are at 20 seconds until the market opens here. 13, anything that you want me to queue up before we open?
Well, just that Bitcoin's daily chart looks like it wants to take out that recent all-time high we made of 73,826. I think that's a possibility for getting tested today. So that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Okay,
MVCR actually looking like this might be taking the next leg lower. Let me flip over to trade the pool and let's see what we get for actual trades here today. We are open. Okay, Marvell, first move up here right to that limit. Let's see if we push through that and then back test it here right through it. Now we're waiting for the back test on Marvell. I'm looking for a 71.78. Boy, that happened real fast there.
What I need to do is get some of these on my screen.
That pullback happening real quick here, pulling back to the VWAP now on Marvell. Let's see where this actually ends.
So iBio is still kind of going sideways out of the open. Might be weak here. So not sure about that one at the moment. Cycle through some of these other ones.
Yeah, I want to do the same thing. I just if Marvell sets up here, I think this might actually bounce off of the VWAP. Reddit a little bit lower here today.
NVCR just going right down out of the gate. Might get a reversal at about 14, so keep an eye on that level.
Yeah. We'll see. Pays being mentioned, big off the open here on Pays. Yep, looks like that. Right back to the VWAP there on Pays.
Yep, going through. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. MRVL is trying to hold that VWAP here. Let's check on DNUT. DNUT breaking down here from 1722. See if we get a back test of that level. Here we go on DNUT.
Yeah, looks like with Pays, it's going to run into some resistance around 413. There's a big supply zone that it needs to eat through. But once it does, let me tell you, I'll tell you about some other levels if it does do that. Give me a second.
DNUT looking like this is going to try and go lower. Let me go back to Marvell and see if that setup is this. So this so far holding here at VWAP. We actually already popped at the top end of that range.
There's a lot.
I kind of want to trade some of this. MNAV being mentioned by Smoke Tuna. Good morning, Smoke Tuna. Bonjour, I should say. MNAV very thin.
There's a lot of overhead supply that Pays has to get through in order to go higher, especially when it gets up to into the 5 area.
I'm thinking Marvell might go here. So let's see. We had an impulse move initially. We pulled all the way back to the VWAP. Sure looks like we're going to go higher here. I'm going to take some. And see on Marvell here.
Tesla ran up into the open, and now it's absolutely just going straight down. I think STOK was from yesterday. Somebody mentioned that they were still holding STOK, I believe.
Yeah, STOK. The other thing here on STOK, they did an offering yesterday, didn't they? Right after this is actually higher now on STOK. Oh my God, what happened on Marvell? What did I just get totally crushed? This thing, what a head fake. That totally head faked me there on Marvell. At this point now, I want to see if we hold the 7084 level. If not, oh my goodness, that was awful. What a head fake. This is there you go. That right there, graphical example of why I sometimes wait out the first couple of minutes of the market. This is just a little too aggressive. By the way, DJT here, we'll see if this bounces. This might not be over yet. We're going to stay in and try to not react too quickly. DJT here, this actually came back into the VWAP, already back towards highs. Watch this pre-market high level right here, 72.50 on DJT. This thing's starting to get wild here.
Like that mention of from EKS about MRK with an all-time high. They had their an 11 billion acquisition that's starting to pay off with the FDA approval of the drug that the company they acquired was producing. So that was a gamble that is paying off for them. Glad to see it. And if
MRK, that was another one that we had a potential range here for. So you can see right there, that stopped right at that 133. A break of 133 in a back test, we can be long MRK. Marvell is bouncing off the bottom end of that channel, at least so far. That felt weird. That just felt straight up weird. I don't know how else to say it, honestly. NUVB being mentioned by Smoke Tuna. That nice little volume pop out of the open here. That actually trading up a little bit as well. Marvell coming back in, man.
What's the broader market doing? Are we just going sideways still?
Yeah, SPY's off the highs a little bit here. Dow popped. NASDAQ actually moved down off of its opening print.
Well, it's slow moving, but NOVA is trying. I don't even know if I should have mentioned this one. It's just slow moving, but it had a nice pop out of the open.
DJT there's that knife that we were talking about and expecting. That's actually happening right now, right back to that VWAP. I got a level there at 65 to about $3.50 under where we're at right now.
If we continue to see this go down, I'd be the first level of support that I'd be thinking that DJT encounters would be at 66.50.
Alt being mentioned here by Jonathan. Jonathan, good morning, by the way. This was lower here. Was this earnings? What was this here on Altimmune? Let me take a look here on my news feed real quick. Altimmune shares are trading lower after the company released lean mass preservation data for one of its drugs and worse than expected earnings. So Alt here moving down on earnings actually went green.
Pays is pain. And it might continue to pay.
There we go. Nice move right back to that VWAP and through. Still checking in on my this is, man, oh man, did I get absolutely hoodwinked on this trade. Not a good start to the day. Well, let's see if we bounce right here. Otherwise, if we just kind of build and move lower here, I'm going to cut this and just book the loss.
Pays going up to the pre-market consolidation. Probably we'll see some resistance here. It's got a good amount of shares to get through between here and 425. We break through that. Not exactly sure how high this goes. I don't have levels above that. I was just trading the open.
AJ, good to see you, my man. AJ, what is the short interest on DJT right now? I wonder if we even have that post the ticker change. Let me see. We don't have any short interest available on that. Let me check DWAC and see if we still have. So the short interest that we had on DWAC at the time of the ticker change was 7.53% of the float shorted and one day to cover. Almost nothing. That's negligible, frankly, given some of the plays. Now I don't know how that transferred over to DJT, but that's the numbers that we have there. Great to see you, AJ. Hope you're doing well. iBio getting mentioned here. Let's move over to that.
So NVCR is halted to the downside.
That run up here on iBio, we're now back to the VWAP. This all selling pressure, and you're absolutely right. NVCR halted now. Halted that completely. This is wild. 13. Look at this. This completely retraced this move. Like this is a complete retracement of this move.
This is what Yeah,
From
this is what
1330, sorry, from 1330 to almost 19, we already round tripped it.
this is the thing I was worried about with these phase threes. These phase threes are typically sell the news. So you get that initial pop and then they're like, oh yeah, so all the trials are done now. That doesn't to say that we couldn't see this turn around and come back up. We're coming down. It's almost down to where it was trading prior to the news. From the past weeks, this level here down at about 13 to 12 to 13. So if it can get some support from this area down at about 13, then might reverse. We'll have to see. But
LIX, sorry, thought you were
go
done.
ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm done.
LIXT here popped away from that VWAP. It's coming back to it, but it's not breaking down here. So LIXT. Jeremy mentioning pays as that's going higher here. That's continuing to pay. You love to see it.
It's still trying to chew through that consolidation I mentioned just a moment ago, and it's coming down. So it's having a hard time chewing through that, but it's getting there. Still on deck for it to go higher, though. I think it'll see 450 at some point if we can continue this volume.
SMR getting mentioned here. We talked about this one a little bit earlier. This ripping here, no catalyst for this one, but it's ripping. Jane saying, Ryan, not trading, but my daughter's cat got out and was lost. Pato got home last night. All right. Glad you were able to find it. Hopefully it doesn't get lost again. I had one scare with my current cat on that, and I don't look forward to doing that again. Glad Pato, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Glad he's back home.
Some other things are doing pretty good this morning. Like Palantir had a nice pop out of the gate, and it's coming down.
Someone asked about Palantir earlier, but we were just so pressed for time we never covered it here. Let me check and make sure there's nothing new going on with this one. Palantir news: increased adoption of artificial intelligence across the healthcare industry. That's just kind of a general thing that mentions multiple companies like MDT, AMD, BFly. So that's not specific. Yeah, I don't see anything fresh here. Palantir, this just looks like trading action, but you're right. A bit volatile here. First move was down, then a big pop through the VWAP, and now a big yank through that VWAP.
Yeah, I'm still trying to build a position with this one.
Miso right. Trying. This is one from yesterday. Boy, this thing really kind of came back in. How's Marvell holding out? Boy, I got hoodwinked into holding through this range. That sucks. Now I've got to make my way out of it.
So, and I know it wasn't on the movers or anything, but one of the things I noticed yesterday about Lunar, LUNR, let's see if it's even held it. Okay, so it bled right back out. So one of the things about Lunar, anyway, was that it needed to get above 660 and hold that in order to go higher. It held that, and we ended up with a high of 731. Now we're bleeding that all back. 660 is still a level I think we could see resistance turn support. So 660 is a support level for me now in Lunar. If it gets down to there and can hold, I'll probably pick some up for a reversal trade.
Okay, this actually looks like a decent bottoming candle here on Lunar. By the way, Zim about to cross 10.
Yeah, it did pop above 10 and then it came back in.
Yep.
We're not seeing the end of that.
Beneath the VWAP.
Yeah.
LVTX, another really light volume one here too, and I can't jump in any of these.
NVCR just opened. It's headed lower.
Marvell looks like this is probably going lower here.
Pays,
this sucks.
Pays is still trying to chew through that consolidation, that the supply from the pre-market. It's almost at the pre-market highs, getting there. Once it gets past 440, we could see some fireworks, but I think 450 might be the top for the moment.
I was just going to say 450 looks to be the spot.
Yeah.
Pays. Let's check iBio. iBio may be slowing down on that pullback here. Let's see what it does as it moves through VWAP. Coin being mentioned, that coin is falling here. So what's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin really pulling back here. Bitcoin going to have to coming up on a 70K test here on the future, 70,400 currently.
Yeah, this is where it should start to slow down that selling and maybe start to consolidate or hold. We're getting into a demand zone here with Bitcoin. So this is the area here where it's at, where it kind of needs to hold. If we start falling through it and go under 60, that's probably going to be bad for all those stocks.
MRVL just literally, I mean, I obviously had the range correct because all we've done is trade between this damn range. But man, oh man, hoodwinked on that breakout back test.
And NVCR, I think it's getting that reversal that I was talking about. So it got down to that.
It just completely retraced that move, and now it's time to move up 13.
Yeah,
There
that's what
you
it
go.
seems like it wants to try to do after
Man.
it got down to that that demand area from all the previous days' price action. So we'll see if it can reverse here.
DJT continuing to move lower here. So for those of you that are waiting for this to kind of come in, maybe that 65 level, that looks like that's coming sooner rather than later here. 66.50 on DJT. That's coming down here.
Yeah, right to 66.50. Now, if it doesn't hold here, then the next level I have is 64. But we should see a little bit of buying strength. Oh no, it's breaking through that. I'm not even going to be trading this one. I'm just kind of telling you what I see. But it should
DJT?
try to reverse. Yeah, it should try to reverse here.
I'm with you on that. Look at Tesla, by the way. Tesla just pulling to the downside here.
Okay, so what does that mean for Apple? Are we
Apple's at the reverse of that. Apple at highs. And I think that, I'm kind of looking at some of these old channels that I had here. 172, probably some upside resistance there on Apple as Tesla continues to come in.
Yeah, and Verb turning up, says Webcoin. Verb had news of some kind of collaboration or partnership with TikTok, which to me is going to have limited upside, considering that it's currently, there's a bill in Congress that's going to try to ban TikTok if they don't sell to an American company, because the company that owns TikTok right now has ties to the CCP.
Oh, and by the way, all of those social media companies illegal in China, so get wrecked.
Yeah, even TikTok isn't used in China. What does that tell you?
It's just, I mean, just whatever. I don't want to start a fight. This is as easy as it gets. It'd absolutely be banned. NVIDIA maybe bouncing off of the bottom here.
What does that SMCI look like today? We're going to finally go under 1,000?
Looks like it. We're right there right now. SMR getting mentioned here. This back to its VWAP.
Oh, don't worry, Jay. I'm paying attention to all the Mag 7s. I have a watch list just for that. I like to see which of the Mag 7s are up or down.
Yeah, watch that almost every day, it seems.
We've been on that thing about how there's rotation among the Mag 7. So
Yep. Okay, Apple. Let's see if it stops here. 172.50. $172.50 right here. A little bit of size there. Nothing Apple can't handle, though. Let's be very clear about that. See if Apple maybe comes back in. Sorry, go ahead.
Aside from pays, lots of things just going down. And by the way, pays right to 450. So there it is.
And pull.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't a huge pullback, but pull in there a little bit.
I mean, and it could still go higher. But we should see some kind of a little bit of retracement here. Maybe back down to VWAP, possibly about 420 before it starts going again. But I'd expect there to be some selling before it moves up.
I'll tell you, for those of you that are quick on the in and out here, pays really, really good. This moving back and forth, and you can probably scalp this back and forth depending on how quick you are on it.
Oh yeah.
Apple again, still at the highs here. How's that NVCR doing? Coming up off the bottom. That was a good call there.
Yeah, it's looking like that's playing out here. I'd still like to see it reclaim the 15 handle though.
All right, MRVL. Let's see. This formation actually looks encouraging. Let's go higher here and let's stop being dumb. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Let's stop being dumb.
You dumb stock. Stop being dumb.
Exactly. Negative reinforcement. Look at that. Right to the top end of the range and rejected. Reddit. Let's take. Actually, I haven't looked at that. I hope you trimmed over 70 yesterday. Warren just says, Jay. There have been nothing but warnings. There have been nothing but warnings on Reddit. I agree. After that big move yesterday, I hope that you know that's just kind of a larger concept here. I actually shout out to Jane Smith. I've been seeing her do that on a lot of these different moves. When these stocks show any type of strength, you're probably better off selling into that. Unless you have a target or some type of thesis that's a longer time horizon. I mean, man, oh man, sell into the strength. Don't wait. Don't sell into the weakness. Sell into the strength.
Yep. I have to think that SMR is kind of just setting up to go higher than 518, but it might take about 5 or 10 minutes before it starts to reverse. It just looks like it has that setup.
Good question here. Francis saying, Marvell target if you hold. Okay, well, first of all, I'm going to systemize this trade. So a break beneath the 70.84 level will stop out, book the loss. A break above this 71.78, that kind of means that we're set here. Now, on this initial, let's say we do break 71.78 to the upside, the initial break, I don't necessarily want to panic on that. What I'd really like to see is maybe a back test of that level and hold, which is kind of the initial thesis. One of the reasons I took this here is because I thought it was going to hold the VWAP. It actually did not do that. So here we go. So now that we're breaking here into the green, I absolutely want to see this candle get taken off. And then here, let me move to one of my bigger charts that we can actually take a look at here, because this is a good thing to take a look at. Let's look at the 15-minute. Do we really have it here? So here you go. So here's the former area that we were in. You can see that this area right in here is a consolidation area. I think if we pop above maybe 73, 74, we'd be in pretty good shape here. I'm not sure if we're going to get there, Francis, but this right here, let's call it 73.5. I'd start thinking about taking some profits there. If it doesn't show, if it starts to move and it doesn't really show any strength and it looks like it really wants to come back in, maybe we'll cut it early for whatever we got. All right, because we don't want to let the trade go red on us. And the other thing is it starts moving up, we'll probably set some stops to make sure that those gains get booked. Again, it's more about creating a process that we can stick to with this potential trade. Okay, let me go back to trade the pool. Sorry for rambling there, 13.
That's all right. You got a lot to say.
Hey, that's sometimes not a good thing. Marvell continuing to push higher here. This is good. This is what we wanted to see. Maybe I should have added on the back end of that range, but not the greatest entry on there. We'll see where Marvell goes next.
Looking for SMR to reverse here. It's low volume, but it's got that setup that I was talking about. It might have found a bottom. Just something I'm watching right now.
It's right there at the VWAP. Yeah. Smoke Tuna mentioning STOK. This came up off that 1040 level, reclaimed VWAP. It's like this is trying to move higher here. Actually, this reclaimed that 11 handle, which we marked as one of those areas. Stock trying to go new high a day here, 1145, 1150 break. This was actually a pretty good catch if you caught it near the bottom. By the way, DJT still coming in here, so we haven't figured out where we're gonna. Haven't figured out where we're gonna find support yet on DJT. It looks like it's tried, but hasn't been able to hold it.
And VCR, it's still moving off that level. Still looking for 15. Might run into some trouble at 1450 though.
This was a really good reversal here too.
Yeah.
You had this one nailed here. This reversed right off that 13. God, we're up $1 here on this already.
Good stuff.
That is good stuff. 13. Getting it done. That's what you like to see.
Oh yeah. Now I think pays. It's still trying to work out the process of cooling off before it makes another run. So that's another one I'm watching for to see if we can hold at these levels and then take out that 453 high that we just made about 5 minutes ago.
Jay Summers here, quick scalp there on iBio. Cash register ring, just 10 cents there. But again, a stock like this, especially one that's up over 100%, take your gains when you have them. If you're able to do that consistently, you should be in good shape. STOK here hitting 12. Great. Tuna, this was an amazing call. Nice. Was there anything else that you saw on your chart that we're unaware of that happened right here? Because this thing, clean bounce off that 1050 here. Nice push. Nice $1.50 push there. Very, very quick.
SMR
Good
looks
call.
like it's trying to resolve that bull flag.
Indeed it is. And we're pushing up here, 13. You are, man, that was right on cue, dude. Right on cue.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Now let's see if we can get some of that similar action from Pays. I think Pays still needs a little bit more time, though. Oh, yeah.
DJT moving even lower here now, 63 handle on DJT. Would love to hear any of you folks that have levels that you're looking to actually buy this at. Let me know. Would love to hear that. 61. Looks like that might be a level here. Verb getting mentioned. Carmen. Verb, that's that penny stock here moving through the VWAP there on Verb.
Okay. It looks like iBio is trying to find a bottom and starting to curl. I'm not convinced that this is the curl for it.
Yeah, the other thing is this 246 area that this is at right here. The last time I checked this, they were clearing it out, and now they're refilling it. This 246 is getting refilled with a seller here. I do see a little bit more size at 249, but I didn't actually watch the action there. Yeah, just I guess I'm just kind of skeptical of this one. I guess that's my own problem.
Well, I mean, what's to stop them from doing another offering?
Yeah, nothing.
Have you looked and seen how many they've done?
It's crazy how many they've done.
Comical.
LIXT maybe coming up off the bottom. Marvell falling out here. Oh, big knife on that. Let's see if we hold. Otherwise, we're probably out of this one.
Okay, what's turning around? Looks like NVCR is still trying to work its way up to $14.50 or $15, either one. It's going to have some trouble getting through that pre-market consolidation they put in the last half hour of it before we open, and that's between about $14.75 and $15.75, so about $1 of consolidation there.
Ian saying, do you guys know why Charles Schwab wouldn't trade DJT yesterday? No, my best guess here, just giving everyone the benefit of the doubt, is that the ticker change sometimes causes issues, and maybe it takes a little bit to iron that out. I mean, I didn't trade DJT yesterday, so I don't even know. I have Thinkorswim, which is now, I guess, owned by Schwab. But I didn't attempt to trade it yesterday, so I'm not even sure if I was able to get fills on that. Anyone that did, let me know. I don't know necessarily what's going on there, but again, my initial reaction would be that was just because of the ticker change. There was nothing nefarious going on.
Yeah, I can't, guarantee that this is the case, but I've heard that sometimes brokers will restrict certain shares from being traded in order to attempt to protect their clients. From getting trapped or caught up in something that's extremely volatile that's just going to cause them to lose money. Some brokers have done that before, is what my understanding is. So that we could be seeing that there as well.
I haven't switched over to Schwab yet, but I was able to trade it on Thinkorswim. Okay, thank you. Paul, Schwab had issues that the Dow Jones transports were showing on brokerage accounts. Oh, that's right. Go. So DJT. So you know what's interesting, Paul? Thanks for mentioning this one. That's actually a big mention. You know what's interesting about this is I believe the Dow Jones transports in Thinkorswim is $DJT. Indeed, that is the case here. So in Thinkorswim, if you go from DJT to $DJT, you'll actually see the transports. That's effed up that happened yesterday, Paul. But you know what? This kind of answers the question, Ian. They were probably trying to figure that out. They had inflated balances and tickers wired up to the wrong one. Yeah, I can imagine that took them some time to figure out there. That's probably what happened.
Oliver Bodmer, if you recall, the market has a pretty short memory with Hood having done that exact same thing. And now we're absolutely ripping this morning on non-similar news, but at the same time, brokers have done that before.
Yeah.
And Hood is a very, very prominent example.
Yeah, I'm kind of with, I guess it depends on how much leeway you want to give your broker, but I'm with Oliver here, to be quite honest with you. If my broker is haphazardly restricting what I can buy and what I can sell, it's time for a new broker. I don't want anyone else telling me that. And the other thing is, if I can't predict why that's going to happen or when that's going to happen or what stocks that's going to happen to, that's just another order of uncertainty and randomness that I don't want any part of my trade plan. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, Check and iBio are both getting some bullish movement right now.
Here we go. iBio, that curl through the VWAP here. This is continuing to push up. We really want to see this volume expand here. If we get that, we should be in good shape. STOK to the, we're getting to the moon calls here now. STOK popping to 13. This is actually really good. This is a good action considering they did an offering, right? This thing is now higher. That's encouraging to see here. Nice job, by the way, on STOK.
Yep. It looks like SMR is ready to push a little bit higher. I think in about maybe 5 or 10 minutes, this thing is going to be back at that 518 level if we continue to see the volume expand.
Voodoo, good to see you this morning. What? Oh my God.
STOK.
Yeah, sorry. I looked off the screen there for a sec. Oh, big push here. Look, guys, if you're in this again, like we were trying to tell you, I would at least trim into this move here. There's a really, really strong move on ticker STOK here. Voodoo saying, Ryan, in my TDA account, the earliest I can start the setup transfer to Schwab is April 9. I don't want to transfer anything. I don't want to set anything. I don't want to do that. I want them to do it all, and I don't want to lose a day. And I feel like if you can't do that, then you effed up on the company, not you. I don't want to have to do any of that. I'm hoping that it's seamless, but fingers crossed. We'll see. Hope's not an investment strategy.
But it is a gambling strategy.
This is actually something else I should mention here. Parker saying, I held all my stock, but I sold my calls. If you have exposure, trimming some of your exposure into the move is still the prudent thing to do, whether it's calls, stock, a mixture of both or otherwise. So if you had both on this and you're trimming those shorter dated instruments into this move, I think that's exactly what you should be doing.
NBCR got all the way up to 1450 before it came back in a bit, still holding it around these levels above 14. Just looking to see if it's going to set up to push through 1475 and up to 15.
Yeah, Funky Cold Stock saying my transfer will supposedly take place on a weekend. That's what I've read too. That's why I'm hoping that everything just kind of happens. Okay, let's get back to some of the stocks here. See what's going on with this oh my, ordered.
Looks like some things are coming back in. Looks like DJT got down to the 200 EMA on the 5-minute, and it's getting support from that there. Although I don't really don't trust it. It looks like just another staircase to the downside. Reddit under 16 headed lower. SMR consolidating. Volume is dropping off on that one, so we might not get that move up to 518. Just have to wait and see.
Sorry, I'm filling out a message here on Slack. I'll be right with you.
No worries. I'll just keep on talking. iBio still trying to push up through the pre-market consolidation. That ends at about 285, which we're almost at. So we could see a pretty good move here in iBio. They're starting to go now, almost up to $3. If we get that, we'll see new intraday highs. Smoke Tuna saying iBio going for 3. Yeah, it's definitely on the doorstep there. Probably going to go higher if we can break out of that level. There's a lot of sell orders at that level, though.
Okay.
See if the volume can chew through it.
Okay, sorry about that. So this Marvell trade, this just no good here. No good here. Head fake, tried to go higher here. We're still in this range. I'm gonna wait this out, but I think if we break down from this one more time, we're gonna be out here. There we go. Okay, we are done with Marvell. So that is a loss booked. It'll probably bounce from here. Be careful. Man, is that frustrating?
Oh, man.
That is frustrating. And again with this entry, my God.
We got Stoke now starting to see some selling pressure. It's currently trying to get some VWAP support, but
DNUT did exactly the trade plan that we were looking for. So unfortunately, I got head faked on Marvell. DNUT ended up working out. Yikes. There's your knife on STOK, right back to the VWAP.
Yeah, lots of things just kind of going down.
Yep.
Well, it's getting a Bitcoin mention. Okay, so we're under 70. Oh, wow, look at that thing accelerate. Bitcoin with an ugly, ugly sell-off there.
The actual coin itself, yep.
Yeah.
Down to 69,000 here, trying to hold on to that level. VIX also popping here too, 13.5 on the VIX.
Getting a mention on AT&T. What's happening with that? Okay, why is that not coming up?
You getting mentioned here. Unity, big move down here on Unity. I don't see anything fresh here. Let me see if anything was squawked. But good mention here, Eric. Unity getting absolutely slammed right now on volume.
AT&T is sorry, AT&T is ripping. Don't know what the news is. I can't seem to bring it up in Pro.
Let me see if I can.
It just wants to bring up funds when I type in T.
Oh, yeah. Wait a sec. Is this?
SMCI fell under 1,000. Morning, Gerald. It's ripping to go down tomorrow. Okay. This is a little bit low volume, but M and Y seems to be putting in a bit of a pattern here. Don't know how high this one's going to go. What else? What else? Looks like SMR is not really behaving too well. NVCR still consolidating between 14 and 1450.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still looking around for stuff on Unity. I don't see anything here on Unity, Eric. I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to get an idea of what it's moving on.
Yeah, I mean this is a large move down on volume, kind of out of nowhere.
I'm not saying that this is what's happening, but we did discuss a lot of traders and investors just kind of leaving the market early this week.
Yeah,
we have a short week. Not a whole lot of news aside from the GDP we're getting tomorrow, and we get PCE on Friday, but market's closed. So just people just saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to enjoy my long weekend and just get out early and be done. Not saying that that's what's happening, but it has been something that's been floated around among the groups that we discussed with. NVCR. Yeah, anybody seeing anything right now?
Yeah, not really. I'm not really seeing anything. Marvell, of course, just flushed me out and is back. We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, I think AT&T is good long term, and Verizon.
Nice move here today. Yeah.
One of the things is that we also, when the next earnings season starts, they're among the first that are going to kick off that earnings season. So that's something to watch for as well. But they've been beaten up so much over the past several years that they're kind of due for a recovery, those telecom stocks. I mean, AT&T in particular, because they slashed their dividends, but folks are in holiday mode. Yeah, that's kind of what we're
dude. I'm like literally looking around everywhere and I don't see anything. There are definitely people on holiday mode. Holy cow.
Yeah, SPY's leaking. Looks like we're gonna wow.
Oh man,
SPY's really moving down. It looks like we're gonna go under 520 again. think we also get, let's see, we're going to get some economic data today that could impact the oil trade. We are getting inventories, production, imports, things of that nature. But I don't know. This depends on how much participation there is, and it doesn't look like there's as much as we usually get.
Whisk, good morning, mentioning CZOO. I guess this is a decent move here on volume, CZOO.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of yourself, Jeremy. Thanks for the support this morning. Nice job.
Yep. Take care, Jeremy. Yeah, DJT is still staircasing down. We'll find it. We'll find a setup. We will. Just got to give it some time. Sometimes these things just get so oversold in the morning because everybody wants out, and then all of a sudden the buyers come in because, hey, look, it's a discount.
The Apple's still pushing highs here.
Take a look at something here.
Netflix still on the lows.
The Dow is doing really well. Only one or two stocks down. Visa.
And that's actually off its highs too.
Yeah.
The Dow.
So, possibly seeing some rotation into more value stocks. I mean, you got MRK that's up on that, that great news that they got. Apple's up 2%. Amazon flat.
Bitcoin holding the 69K level. You mentioned that sell-off earlier. It looks like it's holding in there.
Bogey mentioning Ford. I know that didn't they have like a bit of a down day yesterday?
They did. Ford pretty much sold all day. We've retraced about 50% of that day here today.
So let's see if we can kind of get an idea of what's coming. If this is news driven, or if it's just on that selling volume from yesterday.
STOK maybe making a move away from the VWAP here. Have you seen TSLL? Yeah, we took a look at these. What are you, Dennis? What are you asking here? I don't understand. Yes, I've seen these.
Getting the mention of NuvB, Nuvation Bio. Let's moving up here. We're getting another test of the pre-market high at 351. Just need some volume expansion to get through that level. We have a pretty significant amount of selling orders between 349 and 354. Wonder if Reddit's trying to bottom out. Not sure. Not going to touch it. And VCR looks like it's trying to get up to that 1450 level. Let's see if we can get a breakthrough that.
That really needs to move through that VWAP there. That'd be great. Jay here saying looks like they're selling winners NVIDIA and buying the laggards like Apple.
Yeah. Which is probably why you're seeing a lot of buying happening on the Dow, because there's some there's a good number of stocks that are haven't done as great as some of these other Mag 7 have. Some are down kind of significantly too. Let me see if I can get some of those for you. Let's see. Yeah, like AMGN is down off their 52-week high. You just kind of want to see I'd be looking at the ones that are pretty significantly off their 52-week high. Some of these are just so close. Johnson & Johnson might be a good idea.
How's that Accenture looking? Let me take a look at this on that. That one's looking good. Here, let me go back to the setup.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we talked about this one here. This, we're not really finding what's Marvell doing? Marvell going to the top end of the range. Nah, this has just not been my year. 2024, really just a big slap in the face. Just incredible. Anyway, Accenture here. We were looking for 3 closes above the 200-day. This is really kind of bouncing pretty clean off that 200-day. I don't really see this closing beneath it here today. So maybe a potential swing long here on Accenture.
Yeah, I still want to see it go into the 200-day SMA. I don't know that I'd be a buyer. I just want to see. I want to see the history of its price action with regard to the 200-day SMA repeat. It hasn't done that yet, so I'm just kind of waiting.
So you want to see it dip beneath and then reclaim it? That's what you're looking for here. That's what we've seen here.
Yep. Everybody's screaming about iBio. They broke 3. We did it, everybody. We broke 3.
Hey, iBio. Nice job on the patience on iBio too.
Yep.
I know that had a really kind of a ramped in the pre-market, pulled off right out of the gate, but the expanding volume took us to the highs there.
And then it's an amazing pull that's happening right now. What else was were we talking about when we were talking with iBio? I think there was something else that was looking pretty good too. Was it SMR? It looks like it was SMR. I think that one's still trying to reclaim VWAP though. NVCR, it's, you know, really pressuring 1450. It's looking pretty good. This is the one that had the phase 3 data, so just remember that. Pays, looks like it wants to start paying again. Starting to recover, needs to get back to VWAP.
Nice job, Scott, on that iBio trade. I know you were looking at that earlier. You're actually down on that earlier. Great patience there, booking gains. You love to see it, Scott. Let's go. Mara going green.
Yeah, that means Bitcoin is looking to reverse. It seems like it's putting in a reversal candle as we speak. You know, for what seems to be a bit of a slow day, you guys are making it exciting, bringing up these things that are moving.
Tesla right off that 176 level, right back to VWAP on Tesla.
Honk, honk. Here comes the beamer. Look at BMR. Just had a nice move out of the gate all the way up to almost 7.
It's a former runner there.
Yep. Former runner. Let's see what happens at this 7. Might come back in. And if it can hold 680, might go higher.
STOK. This looks like this is going to try to push towards those highs as well. STOK.
Yeah, this one looks like it wants to go higher. Kind of spready too. There it goes. It's trying. Oh, she's trying. What else?
Looking around here. I'm sorry I don't have a whole lot here. I'm really sorry. Look at Marvell too.
I had that happen to me. And
it's just, it's the most frustrating thing. I mean, it's just the most frustrating thing.
I had that happen to me in Deer one time.
Just awful. Just awful.
Looks like NUVB is really putting pressure on that 350 level. Like it wants to, you know, break out into new highs from the pre-market high of 351. Just needs that volume expansion and it'll get it. Pays hasn't reclaimed VWAP yet, but it's still making its way up there.
Oh, IXT getting mentioned here.
Ah.
That may be back to the VWAP here. Tesla still bouncing and moving through that VWAP. Apple actually bounced off its VWAP.
So VERI had a nice break through the pre-market consolidation. I think somebody was, okay, yeah, Parker and Smoke Tuna were mentioning this one.
Yeah, we did that interview yesterday on VERI. Zune did.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, how high does this one go? No, it might actually be coming up to as high as it'll go for the time being. I don't know that it's going to get up to 8. Is that a lot of 2023 consolidation to get through?
Yeah. But I'm with you there. That 812 level where it stopped before.
Yep. 13 minutes to oil inventories. Thank you, Krasi. What do I think about Intel? In the short term, probably going lower. In the long term, like maybe a year or two, or possibly even longer than that, I think it'll do much better. But it looks bearish to me for the time being with Intel. SMR back above 5. This one could get going here and try to take out that 518 it put out at the open.
That SMR you were saying?
Yes, sir. And NVCR, that one had a pop through 15 up to 1530. That was special.
This actually doing a decent job holding its VWAP on this back test too.
Looks like STOK getting some volume here. Might push up again. Some of these biotech.
iBio pushing up to the top end of its range again.
Yeah, I was just saying. Seems like these biotechs we were talking about earlier. They just had their selling, and now they're looking to come back up. Let's see if that is the case. Yeah, iBio coming up, LIXT coming up. What else do we have today? Hoth. What's Hoth doing? The Rebels flee? No, it's curling.
It's curling there.
That could be interesting. I guess I'd like to see it get over 165.
Top relative volume stocks here so far today: iBio, CZOO, and STOK. Those are my top 3 that on those relative volume moves. LIXT would be up there as well, although this is just kind of lower.
You won't believe it, but root is red. I think my heart skipped a beat.
This has been one of the most insane moves I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I wonder if that squeeze is coming to an end. SMR is still trying to push higher.
SMR looks like that might break that double top, that intraday double top there. GOEV continuing to move through the VWAP towards that top end of that range.
iBio is still holding above my VWAP. I just got some news on TSM.
Neil, please keep the caps to only tickers. Please don't yell in caps. It sounds like you're yelling at everybody. Reddit, this is a nice little slow bleed here. Anyone that wants to trade Reddit, or any of you Reddit traders on here, I actually still want this lower. I think it's going to go lower. I actually don't want to own it at all. I think it's going to go lower here. But for those of you that are trading it, would love to see what type of levels you're looking at here on Reddit. I didn't short that order flow trader. That's not ours. If you did, that's great. But that's obviously working. Where did you get borrows at? Would be my follow-up question. What broker allowed you to short that?
iBio. That's not a broker, but iBio, the stock trying to push over 3, getting some resistance.
Neil, that's going to be your last warning, man. I'm not joking about it. iBio here. We'll see if we end up popping through that. Yeah, $3.
Yeah. Looks like STOK is still trying to get up and stay above 13. Getting some pressure on the 13 handle.
iBio, let's see if this comes back in. That VWAP, I can actually still see it coming back into that VWAP.
I'd like to see it hold 280. If it does that, I think we can break 3. I'm just going to raise my stop on iBio.
DNUT coming up off that bottom. This short trade where this setup worked perfectly here on DNUT. 17 to 15. Nice little $2 move in there. This actually curling up off the bottom. Buying volume starting to expand on that one as well.
Here we go. iBio trying to. Oh wow, it's really starting to take out 3 now. Let's just bring that stop up. You can't lose on this trade.
We're that top with the top of that candle here. That was at 320. That is definitely going to be your spot here. Mm-hmm. There is a little bit of size, but nothing really of note on the way back up there. This should be able to test that.
NVCR, man, this thing is awesome. That was a
which one?
Great NVCR, the one where I was calling the bottoming action. This has been awesome. Awesome stuff. All right. Looks like STOK still wants 13.
AMTX and it's still moving here. We've talked about this one. This actually nice little bull flag here on the daily chart for AMTX. This actually looking pretty good. Bitcoin also bouncing here. I wonder how that's doing for some of the other Bitcoin names. Coin also bouncing. How are the miners doing? Mara's bounce actually stronger here. Good to see.
How's CLSK doing? I think CLSK is one of the better miners.
Yeah, CLSK.
Not as strong.
Yeah, not as strong here, but still holding up. Still holding up.
I mentioned MNY earlier because it was moving up on low volume. It's still making new highs here and there, but it's very slow moving.
Hey, Tommy. Hey, guys. Question to anyone. My 9-year-old daughter wants to learn to trade. She wants to buy Alta, but I've never traded retail stocks, so I have no idea. Love Alexander's suggestion here. Get a paper trading account.
Yep.
Get a paper trading account. It's free. It can be in your name. Get in the habit of having her check. If it was a daughter, right? Let me make sure I got that right. 9-year-old daughter. Get her in the habit of checking every day. When she has questions about, why is such and such happening, try and figure that out. Try and figure out what those different things are. I actually think by doing this, you're doing something great for your kid. Having them look at money, finance, and thinking about that from an extremely young age, I think is really, really important. And you can do this for free with no risk at all. By using a demo account. The other thing that you can do, and I'm not going to teach you or tell you how to parent, but with that demo account, since there's no risk on the line, if she meets different thresholds, maybe rewards for that. I don't know. Be creative with that. I love the idea here of the demo account. This is great. Alexander's a great suggestion. I got nothing to add to it.
I'm teaching my 12-year-old son already, pretty much in the same way. So I think that's great that you're getting your daughter exposed to that. She's going to be ahead of the curve when it comes to other people in her cohort. I think that even when you look at some of the folks just entering the workforce, they have no idea about how money works, and I think they're at a disadvantage. So
I agree with that.
I think what you're doing is absolutely wonderful for your daughter.
Yeah, me too. That's why I highlighted that. SNDL at the highs, by the way.
STOK broke out over 13.
Needs that what is this? What do I have? This 1328. That was actually that pre-market range here on STOK.
Daddy Backstrap is asking how we are positioned for nuclear energy and space exploits.
I'm interested in some of the uranium names like CCJ, but otherwise I have no positioning for it.
Because I don't understand that sector, those sectors as well. I mean, maybe on the space front I do, but on nuclear I don't. So for me, I'd be playing ETFs. And I think I do have some exposure already in some ETFs that I own, but I don't want to give you, say that that's completely the case. I'd have to double check, but I would play it through ETFs, especially when I don't understand a particular sector. That's the way I like to do it.
Yeah, that's really good advice there. Really nice pro tip there.
Wisdom, that's great. Give her
Make them
$250.
invest their birthday presents. Oh, I bet they love that. Trust me, in 10 years, you'll be really happy. Yeah, but I want a bike now.
Yeah, but in 10 years, you could buy a motorized one.
And trust me, you're gonna be wanting that at that age a lot more than your BMX bike right now.
Ain't got no time for pedaling. Still want to say that CHEK is going to try and go higher, but the volume just isn't great. So big question mark there. iBio is still holding these levels. I think it still wants to try 3 again. But, you know, because of the size of the float, as people were mentioning here in the chat, this could knife pretty much at any time. Watch them have another offering come out right as we're talking about this.
That would be something else.
All right,
that would be something else.
Looks like Pays, you know, this lovely stock from this morning is starting to get some selling pressure. I think if it falls through 375, it's probably headed down to under 350.
Pays here, once it lost the VWAP earlier today, it hasn't been able to regain that. It's below VWAP. It's tried one time to get there, couldn't, and rejected. CZOO now doing that same thing, dropping beneath the VWAP for the first time. Let's see if it holds this and changes the Mo here on CZOO. GCTS, a new SPAC merger that is running. Interesting. Okay, this is extremely thin, isn't it? Yeah, low volume here, looks extremely thin. FLGC getting mentioned. We've taken a look at that one a number of times. That's in the pot sector that's kind of moving there. SMR new highs.
Sorry, I'm just reading about
Good,
GCTS.
dude. I'm still looking around here.
An old mover, but AMTX. I don't even really feel comfortable about mentioning this one, but it just has a decent pattern. So that's why I'm only.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a nice bull flag here too on the daily. It sure looks like it wants to try higher.
Just the volume's not great. So
yeah,
it's kind of a case.
Let me ask you, 13. What is the volume great on today? We've seen low volumes across the board, not even just in some of these small names, but even some of the bigger names. It's just the volume's not impressive at the moment.
Because we don't have the participation we typically do.
Yep.
It's just one of those weeks where there's no big news. And the big news that we are going to get economically is on a day off. We have a holiday weekend, so really doesn't seem like there's anybody interested in buying anything going into the weekend.
And we're in a news pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
There's just not much going on.
But next month, toward the middle of next month, I believe is when we start to get earnings to come back around. So we
he's saying it's just us degens and we're trying to trade the market. Yeah, K-Chat mentioning it is Easter week. Good to see you, K-Chat. I hope you're doing well. Indeed. And it sure seems like that. When we're trying to make the most of it here, really not appreciative of the head fix. That's for damn sure. NASDAQ's red, by the way. Dow's still holding green, looking like it's trying to go higher.
I guess the question is, does the market rise with Jesus?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah,
we shall see. Crow saying Bitcoin for Easter.
Bitcoin for Easter? That'd be cool if you just kind of opened up an Easter egg and you have a USB drive with like a whole boatload of Bitcoin.
I was just thinking, let me open up an Easter egg and pull a Bitcoin out of that. That would make my entire weekend for sure. Palantir maybe curling off the bottom here.
Looks like STOK wants to go a little bit higher.
Be right back.
More volume. Needs people to come off vacation and help push it higher. LIXT. Oh, he left. LIXT. Seems like that one wants to still try to get going. here. Get back up to VWAP maybe. Let's see. Jay Rice mentioning CRK. I'll take a look at that. CRK. And what's this about? It is rising quite nicely out of that consolidation it was putting in all from the after hours and pre-market. Don't worry, Wisdom. We live in a heavily armed country. I'm sure it would be no problem keeping him away. Let's see what else. In Palantir 2450. Did it actually get down there again? Because it was ripping this morning. Sure enough. Tilray long term kind of impressing you. Yeah, if we're getting some of those cannabis legalizations or rescheduling, then definitely. I think Tilray and CGC, and here's one that's really interesting that you guys may have heard of. SMG, Scott's Miracle-Gro. This one has been pretty interesting in the past for me, and I think this is also tied to the cannabis play. So, and they pay a dividend, a pretty nice dividend. So if you're looking for long-term plays that pay you while you wait, SMG may be of some consideration for you. Do your own due diligence on this if this is something you'd like to own, but I think this might be interesting for those that are interested in the cannabis play.
Scott's Miracle-Gro?
Yes, sir.
I've always been told you shouldn't use that stuff for pot, but what do I know?
It's moved on pot news before.
Yeah, so. No, I that's more of a joke than anything else.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Is anything? I don't think we hit the bottom in sound yet. Let's see. I mean, it looks like a bottom for sound would be under $1.
So no, with it being $5 here, no.
Well, I mean, I think he's just referring to a bottom off this price action we've had recently. If I'm so without joking, I think that you might have a better shot at 450 for a bottom, but it still looks like there's more downside to be had with this. So I'll say I don't know, but I'd like 450 better than where we're at now. Sunrun 1250.
Yeah, Caesar mentioning GRWG is a good cannabis growing stock. I agree with this. GRWG, to me, this one is grow generation here. This one, good long-term hold here. CGC, if you believe in that space, obviously.
CGC with a big mention here. And it looks like it broke out a consolidation and printed almost 850. Very nice. CRK, man, that thing is just steadily going up. Great call out on that one.
So, Jay Rice mentioning CRK. Jerry Jones, like 65% owner of this stock, I believe. Is you
Calbot. Calbot. Now that's something that I believe we'll see at some point. Calbot.ai. No, I know you meant cowboy.
You here, we mentioned this earlier. This was selling off on pretty good volume. Couldn't find any news for it. Looks like we've actually bounced pretty nicely off of this. Retraced more than 50% of that down move here. Looks like right off the lows, 25.13, up about $1 and some change here on Unity. Still don't know what was going on there.
I mean, the only thing I can see when I'm looking at around for different news on this is that the chief legal officer sold, $25,000 worth of shares. I don't think that's very material.
Me either. Not even at all. iBio here, by the way, is coiling. This actually might be setting up for another play later in the day. I know we've kind of slim pickings right now, but nice little coil here on iBio.
Yeah, if something's setting up for you to trade and you can trade it, absolutely take it while it's presenting itself, because I don't think there's a whole lot to really trade right now.
Yeah, there isn't, at least not for me. How's DNUT doing? That was so that move just kind of worked. It just went down to that 15 area and kind of hung out there. Man, oh man.
Jay Rice, that's great. No such thing as a long-term hold in the pot sector. That may eventually change, but for now, absolutely, I agree with that.
That's been the case. Frankly, you can't argue with that. That's absolutely been the case.
Yeah, it's just when they don't have access to banks or the major banking players, then you're not gonna get growth in that company. You can't just be dealing with what they just deal with cash mostly.
Yep. Well, there's other like companies that kind of get around it. I don't necessarily know how they do it, but like we at the cannabis conference, next to our booth, we actually had a company that allowed some type of banking or money transfers for people in this sector. And I don't know the specifics about how they got around all of that, but there's definitely companies trying to meet that need. But you're right, 13, on a larger scale here, that's really something that needs to kind of fall in order for this to really start to gain some traction.
Looks like VERI wants to make new highs. Current high is 669. Don't bogart that cannabis stock, my friend. Yeah, but that implies I want to pass it.
IIPRJ saying here, IIPR, in my opinion, this is the only long-term play in pot, picks and shovels, innovative industrial properties.
It's a REIT.
Yeah, I haven't thought about this one. I haven't actually looked into this in accordance with the pot sector, but appreciate the mention.
Well, I mean, this is basically a land play, right?
Yeah. This is what it says for the description here. It's a real estate investment trust, REIT, as you were saying earlier, engaged in the acquisition, ownership, and management of specialized industrial properties leased to state licensed operators for their regulated medical use cannabis facilities. It conducts its business through its traditional umbrella partnership, real estate investment trust, or UPREIT, UPREIT. In which properties are owned by the operating partnership directly or through subsidiaries. Its property portfolio is spread across the United States.
I mean, at the very least, this sounds like this one's really nicely positioned for when that schedule change happens.
Yeah,
and they're allowed to access banks.
Sure does.
Thank you for bringing that.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing this one up too. This was not one that was on my radar, but love it.
iBio
REIT with a decent dividend. I mean, there you go. Stay focused. Hey guys, hope you're having a good trading day. We are. I got head faked on Marvell and then it ended up working. So that's really just kind of annoying more than anything else. And it's really seems like it's kind of dried up. Seems like the Easter week holiday here has us kind of dried up. What are you trading? Stay focused. Would love to see what you're looking at here today.
Yeah, stay focused. Or I really need to send you my email so we can have that discussion on Intel. We had a gentleman asking about Intel earlier, and I think the consensus that we have is that in the short term or near term, it's going down, but eventually it could end up being something really special. So,
power move here today on Intel. Maybe that some of that selling is exhausted. STOK pushing through that 1328, looking for those highs on that initial impulse move. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, as I say, 1427 is the intraday high that we have on that one.
Bingo. Stay focused, shorted the Qs out of the gate. All right. That trade is still working then, isn't it?
I bought SQQQ yesterday. Doing all right. Okay. I don't know about
NCAA working on banning prop bet on college athletes.
SMR breaking out. DS just mentioned that. Oh, yeah, great call, DS. What else? Show me something to trade. seen some consolidation in some of these things. Maybe that's where we need to focus. Man, VERI. Who first mentioned that one? Because this one's just still going up. You always stay focused short Intel as well.
Yeah, WebCoin here regarding IIPR. Oh, look at DraftKings. Maybe we do have a sell the news event going on here in DraftKings. WebCoin saying on IIPR, I heard something to the effect that once cannabis companies get loans directly from banks, they won't need IIPR service. That would be something to confirm. I don't know. Maybe Jay has some insight on that. I don't know. That'd be definitely something to watch there. What's going on in DraftKings here? DraftKings really kind of rolling over. Let me see if I can find some news, 13. Share spike lower as traders circulate. Investor Business Daily sold its position in the company. Okay, so Investors Business Daily had a buy on DraftKings. That was, let me try and find out when that was. Looks like they're circulating a rumor that that they have sold that position, so they booked gains on that. That is sending DraftKings lower here.
Well, I suppose that's okay. Not great for anybody that bought up in the 49 handle, but I don't think that necessarily negates the pattern here.
So here we go real quick. Investors Business Daily. Let me see. Investor Business Daily here. DraftKings IBD's stock of the day rides March Madness to a buy point. This is time stamped 4:18 p.m. Eastern time, March 18th. So that was a Monday this year. Price was $43.
Okay, so what they got? They got what, about $5 out of that?
Yeah, I mean, if that's where they bought it here. It says in the article that they surged Monday, blah, 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 trading near a buy point as the NCAA men's college basketball tournament is start to tip off Tuesday evening. So there you go. So Jay, regarding that IIPR discussion, Jay saying that doesn't make any sense. It would shore up their leases. So that's something definitely to watch. That is definitely something to watch and do some more due diligence on.
It's great to see that we have both sides of the trade.
Yeah, it sure. Well, I don't think WebCoin was arguing one side or the other. I think WebCoin was just bringing more information to the table. But that's a good thing to bring up there. And that he's right. You would definitely want to confirm. You'd want to know how that works going into that event. No question about it. So DraftKings, this just looks like an interactive or IBD trade that is now closed. And you know what? Let me actually check the numbers here, because I suspect that this DraftKings move, if it is in fact moving because of what Investors Business Daily is doing with their position, I got to think that this is kind of low volume. NCAA President Charlie Baker posting on X, it's time for us to draw the line on sports betting to protect student athletes. Remember, I had just read you that line there about... Gosh, now it's gone. That happened fast. NCAA working on banning prop bets on college athletes. Gave that to you a little bit ago. Maybe that's what's going on here. Because I'll tell you this, the prop bet parlays, those are some of the most popular things, and that's how you draw in the average guy. The average guy is not going to feel like he's got an advantage betting spreads against the house, right? The parlay, especially when you have a particular feeling about a player, that feels more exciting. And I think if you remove that from college sports, that's definitely a net negative for the amount of betting that would get done on that. Just my 2 cents.
I'm seeing a mention here from Wisdom about Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out. That's not supposed to come out until 2025. Are you referring to this summer? I haven't seen anything about this summer. Maybe there's an announcement or something, but I already thought that happened, and they're not coming out until 2025 with that game.
There you go.
But that is going to be a big move for that company. Sorry.
No problem at all. Stay focused. You're saying 13. I think Intel's support from large buyers, so it's tough to short for a long period of time. Someone is not letting Intel get to the 200-day for sure.
Yeah, short-term bearish on Intel. Long-term, I think it's much better.
Looks like NUVB wants to take out 364. Just needs that volume expansion, as so many stocks do.
Stock through those highs. STOK.
Somebody asked about SMR and why it's moving today. I don't think we had any definitive news on that. There might be something that we're just not seeing on our feed, though.
Deez is saying Jim Cramer was just hyping DraftKings on Mad Money last night.
Oh, perfect.
There you go. It doesn't get any more perfect than that.
Another stain on his name. I'll never forget Didi. That was awesome. Buy Didi. This thing's going so great.
What wasn't it like bankrupt next day or something like that?
Something that had to do with CCP taking it over or something like that. Something that had to do with a government interference. Is what I recall the problem was, but man, that was such a bad suggestion. It must have hurt so many people that bought it. It's super bad.
Stay focusing. Don't ignore CCL, Carnival Cruise Lines here. What's your thesis here on Carnival? I'll be honest. I don't particularly like the boats, but I'm willing to listen to the long thesis here.
Yeah, and I mentioned this yesterday in the happy hour chat. I don't think I'd want to touch any of the cruise lines since they, some of them, operate not their business, but they operate some of their cruises out of the port of Baltimore, and that's kind of going through a situation right now.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear from them how they see that impacting operations. Probably not going to be too big, but okay, here we go. As I was saying that, I just read this headline: Carnival warns that Baltimore bridge collapse could clip fiscal year 24 profit by 10 million. So there you go.
So they just had earnings here this morning, and it was that from the earnings statement, statement
7 minutes ago.
Okay, so I wonder. Well, the conference call's in progress. That's kind of what I was wondering. So I thought maybe these are comments coming out of the conference call, which would make a lot of sense given how fresh that Baltimore bridge thing is. But yeah, you're right. Carnival Cruise Lines to temporarily move Baltimore operations to Norfolk while the Key Bridge rescue and cleanup efforts continue. So that clearly also going to affect their bottom line.
Yeah, and what's I don't know what their annual revenue is, but okay, so 10 million out of a 5.4 billion, maybe that's quarterly.
Yeah, but anyway. You know what though? You know what I kind of so stay focused thing. He's got his trading hat on instead of his investing hat here. Carnival said earlier, Carnival says, given the timing of yesterday's events in Baltimore and the temporary change in home port, our guidance does not include the current estimated impact of up to $10 million on both adjusted EBITDA and adjusted net income for fiscal year 24. So I think that given this move here, Wisdom saying it's time to short. I'll take the opposite end of that. I think maybe we don't short it here, right? I think that this is kind of what Stay Focused is saying. You might actually have a regression back to the mean here on Carnival. And aren't we doing a decent job holding this 200? This bad news is already baked in.
Possibly.
That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting here.
I just don't like the cruises at all.
Yeah, I don't like that's the thing though. I don't like the boats at all. This as notwithstanding, this wasn't even an issue. The 200-day moving average on Carnival 1579, so still some room down, about another buck down.
Smoke Tuna mentioned while we were talking about the cruises how STOK is ripping. This is the move I was looking for as it moved back up to that intraday high, and it just absolutely demolished it. Great stuff. Uncle Mos, CCL is Carnival Cruise Lines.
Yep. STOKs was a really good mover here. Tesla came up and stopped at that 179 area. So this actually looks like it wants to roll back over.
Home Depot gets a lot of supply from Baltimore Port.
That's interesting. I was trying to find some other companies that were going to be impacted by that, because it's my understanding is that Baltimore port is the most inland port of all the East Coast ports to the Midwest. So the Midwest is going to be using that a lot. So I thought that I'd start to look for companies in the Midwest that use that port for shipping to see how much of an impact they're going to have on that, on their company. Oh, wisdom.
I would do a cruise if I was a 420 hour cruise and the whole ship was just one big hot box.
Yeah.
Wisdom really likes getting baked.
Yeah, that ship might get the Coast Guard called on it for being on fire. Looks like NUVB wants to, it's made a new high intraday. Curious to see if it goes higher here. Got LIXT breaking down. STOK selling off as well, yeah. After that big move, it sure is.
LIXT really couldn't get above its VWAP here at all.
No, it's starting to break down. I'm thinking maybe it finds support around $3.
Gerald, I heard something about a hot box cruise. I'm in. Hey, you know what? Maybe that's the new idea here. Maybe that's the new idea, the hot box cruise package. We'll see.
Hayes looks like it still wants to try to get back up to its VWAP.
What are we doing there on Pez?
You know, it'd be interesting to see if Stoke can hold 1430. If it does, it could.
That's the top end of that candle there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The top end of that first impulse move. You probably get another bounce there if it holds that area.
That's sort of what I'm thinking.
Jay, they're gone.
Oh yeah, oxygen bars. I remember those.
Oh, Dogecoin, get lost. Nobody cares about your stupid thing. We don't recommend people buy or sell anything. And it's just absolute trash. Absolute trash. But that doesn't surprise me now that I think about it.
What else? Anybody else seen something that's starting to get? Looks like DJT may have found a bottom for today.
Same price, Jay. Same price as the Mullen and FSR pumpers.
Yeah. Yeah, probably somebody just bought a whole bunch of it and it sold off, and they're blaming us.
Yep, that's what happens.
What's next? Looks like a lot of things are just kind of selling off right now.
It really slowed down.
Yeah, it did. Hoth has been going sideways ever since it recovered off that bottoming action. So maybe that one will get some attention. STOK kind of holding up there. What else? Looks like Reddit trying to find the bottom. Pays back up to getting back up to VWAP.
Let's see if that gives us another move above VWAP. Stick around. Pretty soon we're going to be bringing on Zunaid.
The Crow JQUA. So you like that one. I like it too.
AT&T still trying to hold VWAP. STOK might be coming back.
OUST being mentioned here. Oops, I typed in the wrong ticker. Oh my God, what a staircase that was here today, OUST.
Oh, and that move just recently where it broke out of that consolidation. Very nice.
See anything else setting up here? Apple, maybe a curl back towards the highs there on Apple.
Oh, knuckle draggers are so fun to listen to sometimes.
Yeah, it's a clown world. What can you say?
Well, enjoy the circus, I guess.
Yeah, smile about it.
Maybe they should get their own show. Oh, Hoth starting to wake up.
Or make better decisions. That would be another thing that they could do, but that won't ever happen.
Nah. NVCR, nope.
All right. Couple of seconds here. Zunaid, can I get a thumbs up? Are you ready to go, my dude? Zunaid, how are you doing? What is going on, my man?
I am doing well. I'm excited. Got a couple of interviews out the way earlier. Now we've got futures trading coming up, and then we've got a couple more interviews. So it should be a fun day.
All right.
Nice.
Hopefully the futures market is a little bit more active than some of the stuff that we've taken a look at here. Easter week has really kind of slowed things down, but take us to the promised land, Zunaid.
Will do. You know what? I feel like I'm showing a lot of space between my head. Maybe it's because I'm sitting down. But you guys
I feel like maybe you adjusted your camera.
A little bit down, a little bit down. Okay, it's not moving. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. All right, Zunaid. Good luck. Take care of
See
yourself.
ya. Let's go ahead and get this party started. We're going to go ahead and talk some futures trading. So let's go ahead and do this. Then we can go ahead and do this. And then we can do that. There we go. Wait, hold on. Throw up my pretty face. Wrong show. Bang. There we go. There we go. It's actually not even that. Where's the 80% off? Because that's what we've got. Anyway. All right. It's 80% off if you want to go ahead and use promo code FEVER on Apex. It's very simple. I'm going to spend about 2 minutes to just show you how to do it. And then, matter of fact, here you go, right? So here is you go here. Again, you got 5 hours to get 80% off. I genuinely don't know if it's going to go to 71%, if it's going to go to 90%, or what it's going to do. What I do know is right now you can go ahead and just sign up, sign in, whatever the case is, and get your you can get your discounted eval, go through the process and get yourself funded. I have already gotten myself funded. You can kind of see that. I will show it to you. Share this tab. So here is my funded accounts. The one that I'm trading is going to be this one where I'm up about $1,000, hoping to get paid out by the end of April because I want to continue building this puppy up. So let's go ahead and talk about some futures trading. By the way, somebody said butter chicken and fresh haircut. What did they say? Hold on. What did they say? Where'd it go? I saw someone say it. Really? That's what we're doing? That's what we're doing? I mean, you're not wrong. Also, can I fix my camera, please? I think that's good enough. There we go. Yes, butter chicken and hair is next, which I also, let's be honest, I don't think you want hair in your butter chicken. That sounds kind of weird, but appreciate the love. Am I still trading? Yes, I am absolutely still trading. It's messed up. That's messed up. That's really messed up. All right. Let's go ahead and just kind of quickly show you what I traded today on the future side of things. Traded this break, right? So we went ahead and broke here. So I went ahead and traded this VWAP test, sold it at the 18,510 for about 13 points. Then we went ahead and made some money back on this one. And not just that, I thought I traded more than that. Oh, maybe it was at nighttime. I know I placed a trade at night, to be honest. Hold on a second. I got to see where it was. Maybe it was here. Where is it? Pa, 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 pa. There you go. This is where it was. While I was sleeping, before I went to bed, I placed a trade. And I said, hey, my stop loss was, I think, going to be like right above the 538s or give or take. So I sold it, recovered it here, and then we went ahead and sold one more and bought it back. So that's where we currently are. Those are a lot of things. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, do that. Awesome. And again, if you want to go ahead and get an eval account to where if you pass it, you can go ahead and trade a funded account. Make sure you scan that QR code. Better yet, it's in the description as well. So check that out. What's my outlook on Coco? Are you talking about Reddit? Which one are you talking about? I got you, Aaron. Which one are you talking about? Reddit, I took gains. Reddit, I went ahead and traded and, made money on that. Speaking of which, Reddit is now coming down. Let's see where Reddit can go, and then we'll get back to futures. So I think you've got support here, right? Which I think you already kind of are hoping for a bounce. You're trying to play it. So my stop loss would probably be at like 54.40. So you'd risk about 2 points, and then I'd look to get it right back to VWAP. So I would risk 2 points and hope to get about 2 points on the test if it does come to VWAP. After that, I would look to purchase it at around 51s or so. But those are my levels on Reddit as it does go ahead and come on down. Now, obviously, if it gets to 62, could be a solid area to short it. Oh, you're talking about chocolate? So, yeah, we had, what is it, Edwin Dorsey, who talked to us about the Hershey's short. That was interesting. That was fun. That was a good conversation to have. Let's see here. All right, let's get back to the futures. Futures. So here's another thing, right? Let's go to the 65 and see if that's the case. You kind of have this trend line where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, break on the 5, retest on the previous close. I believe that previous close is also where VWAP was. Yep. So right around there, I think is a solid spot. Matter of fact, I'd love for it to come back. I wonder if it's kind of basing and just wanting to crack a little bit lower. We're going to set some alerts here in case it does lose a little bit of support to the downside on that one. So I did, Jay Rice. I bought it around there. Sorry, hang on. I bought it at 51-ish, then I sold it at 53, then I bought it again at like 57 and then sold it again. So I haven't held on to it, unfortunately. I just kind of day traded and I just let it go. Why? Because I don't want to deal with an 8% or 13% hit to the downside. I mean, that's just crazy, right? I want to sleep at night. I'm already getting white facial hair. I can't afford it anymore. So anyway, that's what's going on in the NQ. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ES. I love trading NQ so much. I haven't even looked at the ES in a minute. Yeah, see, you've got a little bit of support right there. Then I would say if it comes down to about 65s or so. Matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do is risk about 200 to make about 200. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can actually go long one. Oop, not 5. And see if we can risk about $250 to make about $250. I'm going to have a stop loss right underneath it and see if we can get back right there. All right, so that's a trade I'm in. You can see that it's kind of looking to find support here. I'm going to try to go ahead and play it. If it breaks that, I'm out. Usually, if it's the setup that I really, really like, I'll go ahead and get a couple of contracts. But for this one, I'm kind of iffy about it. I would have preferred for here's what I'm wanting to happen, right? Is that we go up and test this trend line here. If we can go ahead and test this trend line right around here, I would like to go ahead and sell a contract and then have it covered around VWAP if we are wrong. So that's the perfect scenario in how I'm kind of hoping things go. No, it's not a dumb question. You're perfectly fine. But does Apex reset the account at refill? I don't know what you mean by that, but basically the way that it works is, say you get an account on January 1st. You unfortunately, blow it. Then on February 1st, it'll go ahead and reset it based on the discount code that you have in. What I like to do is kind of see what their sale is at, and then I will cancel it because sometimes the sale price to get a brand new account is cheaper than the reset account. So that's the way that I would go ahead and do it. Okay, here's a dumb question by me. Does chocolate have here, let's go ahead and see. Cocoa futures. What is it? CCK? Is that the US cocoa futures? Am I looking at the right ones, chat? Let me know. Because, boy, look at this. Cocoa prices are just moving on up. Let's see if we've ended up finding a little bit of support after it did break through. Yes, it did. It's so fun to draw these levels and just kind of look at this. See, look at that. It's just amazing how I might have to trade in cocoa a little bit. Look at the way that it continuously finds. So this is the 65-minute, right? Here's what we've got. Earlier this month, 66.80, we break out, we hold support. Resistance, come back, hold a support. Breakout, hold a support. Now it's kind of moving up, and the 10,000 level goes ahead and rejects. Now, I'll be honest, I have never traded cocoa, but this is interesting, and it might have to be added to my list. And it just made it to my list. Congratulations, Coco. You are now something that I watch. Speaking of watch, let's see how our trade here is doing. Looks like we're down about $120. That's not good. That's never fun. We'll see if that ends up being a loser. Coming on down. Are we going to break? I'm going to go ahead and set that there so we know what we're kind of looking at. By the way, did you guys check out Robinhood's? What do you guys think about Robinhood's announcement yesterday with their gold features and the credit cards and everything? Type 1 in the chat if you're going to get the Robinhood credit card. Let's see. Yeah, so you had the updates from the Robinhood event, which I watched, right? Is you had, if you go ahead and get gold, which is about $5 a month, that's cheaper than, like he said this example, that's cheaper than Netflix with the ads. So it's quite inexpensive in today's world, right? That's probably less than what eggs cost. You go ahead and get 5% APY, right? So you get the benefit of having an ROI on your savings account or whatever the case may be. What's interesting is that typically FDIC secures deposits up to $250,000. The figure that I saw on Robinhood was like in the millions. So I have to kind of double check that and see how that works. Because if that was the case, why doesn't every bank do that? So that's one thing I'm kind of iffy on, not because I don't trust it, just because I haven't done my research on that aspect. The other thing is the fact that you go ahead and get a 1% boost on all deposits, no limits whatsoever. So if you've got, $1,000 to deposit, you go ahead and get $10, so on and so forth. And well, okay, looks like someone just, okay, that was weird. Let me go ahead and sign back in. Hold on. All right, we're back in action. And we're back at break even, baby. That's how we do it. Up $10. Don't tell me I'm not a profitable trader. Where do I go? Where's back? Okay, there we go. So yeah, it's just a bunch of cool stuff that they're doing where you have the 5% APY, the 1% unlimited boost. What's interesting is how long do you have to have the funds in your Robinhood account for you to get the 1%, right? So sometimes what I'll do, I used to this back in the day, is I would open up a Chase savings account or a checking account or a business account, deposit 20 grand, get $400. And then after 6 months, I could pull it out and keep the $400. So like, I'm curious, how long do you have to have the money in the account of Robinhood to not lose a 1% boost that they're giving you? So that'll be interesting. And of course, that 1% boost can go towards your trading account. So it's kind of like, hey, your 5% APY, your 1% boost, that all goes to your Robinhood account. And then the credit card rewards that you get, that goes to your Robinhood account. So say, for example, you spend $1,000 on something for the statement month, you get 3%. So that $30 now goes into your checking account. That checking account gives you a 1% on that $30 and gives you 5% APY on the $30. So it's a pretty sweet freaking deal, in my opinion. It's a matter of how long do I have to have the funds in there? When in the world are the credit cards themselves coming out? Those are the questions I'd want to go ahead and get answers to. Headline shows the 1% ended January 31st. No, that's impossible. Maybe some other boost or whatever may have ended, but there's no way. See, this is a long time. That's a long time, in my opinion. Let's see. Yeah, see, I don't know. That's a long time, man. So yeah, you get 3% cash back. Good point, Kumar. You get 3% cash back on everything, right? So it doesn't matter if it's light, phone, gas, bill, travel, OnlyFans, whatever you want to spend your money on, you get 3% cash back on everything, which I think is unheard of, because typically you'll have credit card companies that'll say, oh, for this quarter, 5% on this, and there's a limit to how much you can earn. Not the case, right? Amazon is beautiful. The Amazon card with Chase, with Visa, I believe it's with Visa, is 5% cash back, but only on things you purchase on Amazon. So the way that I do mine is I don't have an Amazon card, but I have my card, my Chase Sapphire Reserve, for travel and dining, right? Because that gives me a solid boost there. Then I have my City Cash back, which is 2% for everything. By the way, we're up $200. This is good. We're talking about money with Robinhood, and we're making money while trading. I love it. I am here for it. Again, if you want to join us, promo code FEVER. But yeah, so that 3% on everything is sick. And then I have my Amex. If I ever want to feel like a baller on a date, I'll use my Amex and take the 1% that they give you. Yeah, there's something else. That was probably a different bonus or whatever the case may be. There's no way that that would have expired at the end of January when the announcement just happened on March 26th. You know what I mean? So I would not stress and or worry about that. All right, come on. Let's get it going. Right? We've already made 800 and well, I want to go with where's my realized? Because I hate looking at. I've made about $700 this morning on this funded account, and I'm looking to make about $200 more. But I need us to get to 18,463. 18,463.5 is where I need it to go. What card is that? That's 3% cash back. It's the Robinhood one. Matter of fact, let me just send you guys the link. Hang on. Hang on, chat. Let me help you out. How does funded work? I will get that to you here in just a second. Let me send this. There you go. So that's a Robinhood credit card wait list. So you get on a wait list. Then when they start rolling it out, you will go ahead and get notified when you can go ahead and apply. Let's take a look at any other. Okay, so let's talk about how the funded account works. So here's what's going to happen, right? You go ahead and let me show you guys. So matter of fact, I'll tell you what, let's buy an eval together. Why don't we? Okay. I'm going to make sure that I don't, you know, here, let me share this instead. Oop, don't show my password. So here it is, right? So then you can just go to ATF. Oh, I'm already kind of logged in, right? So that makes sense. But you just go to Tradovate. Let me pretend like I'm not logged in at all. Let's just go here. Once you go ahead and look at products, Tradovate 50K is what I have. And so, you know, you can purchase it or whatever, but let me kind of show you here. If you scroll all the way down, that's the arithmetic. Let's go to 50K. Hey, come back here. Awesome. So here's the one that I have, and here's how it pretty much works. With the promo code that you have right there, Fever, right? You go to Apex Trader Funding. You go ahead, and if you get this account, that's 50,000. Now, people will talk about it being 50,000. I like to look at it as to pass the eval, you have a drawdown of 2,500. So it's an eval of 2,500 where you can get it with the promo code right now for about $37. You get the promo code. Then you get a chance to go ahead and pass it by getting a profit of 3,000. So if you trade, whether it's one trade or 97 million trades that it took you to get to 3,000, once you pass the eval, then you get funded, quote unquote, for 50,000. However, forget the 50,000, focus on the 2,500 drawdown, right? And you will pay about $100 or so to then get the fee to get funded. So total, you're paying, let's say $100 for the funded account, $35 for the eval. You're paying about 135, call it 150 for easy math. So by paying 150 and passing the eval phase, you now have a trailing drawdown of about $2,500. Sweet deal, in my opinion. Then you just trade like you normally would. Things that you want to avoid, however, is kind of over leveraging or trying to play news or just trying to hit home runs, because there's like a 30% rule where you want to be consistent with your trading, and then you'll go ahead and be able to request a payout as long as you've been consistently trading for 10 straight days, or not 10 straight days, 10 days total. And then you can go ahead and take a payout on that. And let's talk about what percentage Apex takes. They take 0% up to the first 25,000. After that, the profit split ends up being 90% in your favor, 10% in theirs. So what I plan on doing, hopefully by the end of April, right? Because I don't want to rush and just gamble or anything, but I would love that if by April 15th or end of April, I have 20 accounts, 50,000 a piece that I'm trading. That gives me about $1 million worth of buying power. However, the drawdown is again what we care about, which is $25,000. Awesome. Now let's get back to the charts. Boy, we are just consolidating. I mean, this is just disgusting. Let's look at the 1 minute. I mean, this is crazy, right? This is just insane. Can we stop the nonsense? Can we please make some money on my side? That would be great. So at the for this show, which as you can see is sponsored by Apex, I'm trading a funded account. So it's not eval. This is an actual funded account, and you know that because you see PA right here. which I think stands for performance account. So yes, this is an actual funded account where I've made money today. And I'm hoping to have this account be at approximately 5,300 by the time April 15th comes so that I can go ahead and request a payout. And we've got a trade on right now where we're looking to make some money. Now, outside of this show, I still use this to trade futures, right? Like last night, you guys saw me. I showed earlier that I traded the break and I just put my orders in, went to sleep, woke up. Thankfully, I made money. So we're good on that end. However, sometimes if I do get time, I will trade stocks and options as well. So for now, what you're seeing, futures on the performance account, on the funded account is what I go ahead and trade. Come on, baby. What's up, Basit? I didn't even see you there. You just creepishly listening to us in the back. Give me 1 second, pal. Let's see what we've got going on. Chat, what do you think happens here? Do you think do you think I get stopped out and lose 250 bucks, or do you think I make 250 bucks? No, maybe I didn't explain it properly. So you would end up getting an eval account for 40 bucks. You pass the eval, then you can pay 100 bucks or so to get funded. And then you would just trade with a drawdown of 2,500. And then you can multiply that process by 20 because that's the max that they allow. All right, let's see what else is going on here. All right, coming up in just about 5 minutes or so, we're going to have Harris Basit. Hopefully I said that right. I know last time I butchered it, so I'm glad you came back. I know you're in the back. But yeah, it's going to be a fun conversation. He is a chief strategy officer at Bitdeer, cloud computing. Want to talk about Bitcoin mining with Bitcoin, obviously just about every week hitting new highs to the point where my mom's like, hey, are you invested in Bitcoin? It's like, no, Mom, can't buy you a house yet. I am not invested in Bitcoin. I made the decision to not do that, and now I might regret it. So that'll be a fun conversation. And then after that, we've got Diamond Lake Minerals as well. We'll kick that off here in just a few minutes as we wait to see what's going to happen with this trade. You're absolutely welcome. You're absolutely welcome. Gene, yeah, I can go ahead and post a link. Give me 1 second here. Let me get it from my man, Scott. One moment. Matter of fact, it should be in the description. If it's not, we can... Where's the pinned? There you go. So that's the link. And obviously, if you go to use promo code Fever, that helps us out. That would be awesome. But one thing I will say is stop trying to hit home runs when you're going through this process, right? Build consistency. Try to go ahead and get your 200 bucks a day, your 250 bucks a day, because the more you try to get in that high dopamine home run mentality, the more you'll still not be where you want to be financially 6 months, a year in, 2 years in. So try to build that consistency here. So just because your $50,000 eval account can let you trade 10 contracts doesn't mean you should trade one or trade 10, right? You can see I can trade 10, but I'm not. I'm trading one contract. I'm trying to hit those base hits, trying to hit them singles. You're welcome. Yeah, we do this show once a week, every Wednesday. And then you also have Trader Bacon, where we bring on guests that have used Apex and have been successful with it, with payouts and all that good stuff as well. On Mondays with my man Gates, he goes ahead and hosts that show as well. Let me go ahead and pull up a couple of things here. Aaron Thomas, if you're in the back, if we could play some music, I can get ready for All Access and we will get the show on the road. As soon as you play music, I will go ahead and see myself out for a minute. I think, yeah, consistency is important no matter what you're doing in life, whether it's you trying to lose weight or you're trying to make money. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes with Bitdeer and All Access. All right, let's go ahead and get things moving along. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. As you can see, we did take an L there, but we're going to go ahead and continue what we've got planned, and that's going to be our interviews. One thing that you know we love to do here on this show is to get executives from publicly traded companies to hop on, have a conversation with us, and we'd love for you in the chat to be active as well so we can get your questions answered. And today we're going to go ahead and start things off with my man Harris Basit, who is the Chief Strategy Officer of Bitdeer. Ticker on the NASDAQ is BTDR. All Access starts right now. Harris, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Zunaid, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for coming back. Looking forward to continuing our conversation from last time. If you could give us a quick brief overview, though, what is it that your company does?
So we mine Bitcoin, and we're one of the largest Bitcoin miners in the world. We have operations on 3 different continents. In Europe, it's in 2 different sites in Norway. In North America, we have sites in Texas, Tennessee, Washington, and now Ohio as well. And then we have sites in Asia, in Bhutan. And we also have an AI data center in Singapore.
The AI we're definitely going to talk about here in a second. But when I hear Bitcoin mining, there's so many different things that come to mind, right? What does it actually look like to be vertically integrated in the Bitcoin mining industry itself?
So vertical integration, I think, is really important. And I think we're the only real vertically integrated miner, though you'll hear that phrase from others. And what we mean by it is that we have integrated and are designing and manufacturing our own mining rigs. So if you look at mining, the vast majority of the capital that goes into mining goes into buying mining rigs. And if you're buying those from a third party, then you're really dependent on that third party in a way that we don't really want to be. And a lot of the benefits of mining goes to that third party, the people who are manufacturing the mining rigs. By pulling that in-house and by making the mining rigs as efficient as possible and having them available at low cost, we have allowed ourselves to have, a much lower cost for mining, as well as access to getting the most efficient mining rigs, over time. And so those two are really important because, as I mentioned, the majority of the capital costs are in buying mining rigs. We'll reduce those by having our own and being able to purchase them at cost. And then by having efficient mining rigs, we'll reduce our primary operational cost, which is the cost of energy.
Yeah.
And we have multiple development teams working on improving the efficiency of these mining rigs all the time.
Well,
so
it's no
first, one is at 18 joules per terahash, which is very good. Mm-hmm. But we're not stopping there. We're going to be releasing new products and new versions of these mining rigs over the next months and years.
Yeah, you had analyst Mark Palmer, who went ahead and listed Bitdeer among the most efficient Bitcoin mining companies in the world. I think the answers that you provided earlier kind of speak to why he has that claim. We want to move on to the AI cloud services, which you kind of teased about earlier, because you've partnered up with NVIDIA to offer these AI cloud services. How is that part of the business going? And also, where are you looking to have that be long-term?
So we have a center in Singapore, which is modestly sized, but it's really there to have a showcase where we can bring in young, new companies in the AI space in Asia, help them get started, help them with models, help them with software, as well as rent, GPU time in things. So that the key of our Singapore facility is that it's fully kitted out with everything that NVIDIA offers. It's got the latest, greatest NVIDIA DGX 100s. It's got the full software stack. It's got their models. And we're there to sort of help people who are, not as expert as maybe everyone else or a lot of other people might be, and provide a lot of that model and software support as well as the hardware. So and we're focused in Asia at the moment, but we're going to expand that outside of Asia as well.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially because you want to make it as easy for the folks, like you said, who don't quite understand it to a level of expertise as some of your other customers may have it. You want to make it easy for them to kind of get into the aspect of it. Let's talk about Seal Miner and what's gone into the development on that side and how it kind of stacks up against the competition and what we can expect delivery to be.
Yeah, so Seal Miner is one of the most efficient mining rigs on the market, and we have started taking orders. We have gotten a tremendous number of people who have signed up for that. I don't remember what the number is right now, but I think it's over 1 million. And we are expecting to start making deliveries in the second half of this year. Can't be more specific than that right now, but it's it should be volume deliveries there. And a lot of those deliveries will be to our own facilities. We're going to use a lot of those mining rigs to basically increase our self-mining capacity and replace some of the older mining rigs that we have at some facilities. So we're planning on using our own product extensively, as well as selling it on the merchant market.
There's so much conversation and buzz around the halving of the Bitcoin, right? Does that impact your business? And if so, how?
Well, yeah, I mean, as a mining operation, halving definitely impacts the business. Mining, just for your viewers who may not be familiar with it, reduces the rewards miners get by 50%, or roughly 50%. And that reduction happens every 4 years. So it's highly predictable. This one is coming in the middle of April. And instead of 900 Bitcoin a day in reward for miners, it'll be 450 after the halving. And we've been preparing for it for years. It's one of the most predictable events in business. Yeah. And so we have made sure that we're efficient and have a path to mine profitably even after the reward for mining is reduced by 50%. So if there's not much you can do in the last few weeks or even the last few months, you really have to have built a efficient mining operation so that no matter what happens to the price of Bitcoin, after the halving, you're still able to profitably mine.
Yeah. And no one's really able to kind of, last one for me, no one's really able to predict where this will go in terms of the price of Bitcoin, right? If someone could predict it, they would have predicted the Mega Millions numbers last night. Where do you think this run goes? Like, are we in the middle of a true bull run in your opinion? Where do you think this ends up going? Because there's prediction. I think Kathy Woods earlier had a prediction of maybe 1 million. I think I saw something about it.
I think she's updated that to 2 or 3 million. But
yeah. What are you thinking?
So, Kathy Woods put a lot more effort into predicting the price of it than I have. Yeah. And I think her prediction is plausible. But I want to start by repeating what you said, that nobody really knows how to predict this. And, some of the best predictions I've seen follow the power law thing. And I think that there's at least a mathematical satisfaction that comes with looking at that, because it does look like a fairly good fit. And if you look at that, then it's definitely going up. It's hard to say how much, and the power law follows a log, so it can vary a lot and still fit in that chart. Yeah. I think we will double, triple, or more over the next, say, year. And again, that's just my personal thoughts. Bitdeer doesn't really have an official stance on that. And then I think over a longer period of time, it's going to increase significantly more than that, and possibly hitting, Kathy Wood's prediction. But I think her prediction is over a very long period of time. I'm not sure what her time frame is for that.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be incredible. And so many times you see, not just on FinSway, but so many individuals that I personally got a chance to meet have been made millionaires because of the investment that they believe in Bitcoin. But thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, no problem. I'd love to do it.
Absolutely. That is Harris Basit, who is the Chief Strategy Officer of Bitdeer. Ticker on the NASDAQ is BTDR. We got a double header here today. We love those. We love those in the world of sports. We love those here when we talk to executives as well. So we're going to go ahead and bring on Brian, who is the CEO of Diamond Lake Minerals. The ticker on the OTC markets is DLMI. Brian, welcome to the show. Brian, how's it going?
Doing well, sir. How are you today?
I am doing well. I cannot complain. We talked about Bitcoin mining, so we kind of want to keep it on the track of minerals itself. But before we get into the nitty-gritty aspect of things, tell us what it is that your company does.
Absolutely. So I took over CEO of Diamond Lake Minerals in August of 2023. We've had some tremendous support globally from iconic advisors that have joined us. Our executive team keeps getting stronger and stronger each day. The vision and the strategy of the company is we are an old school type of GE structure conglomerate, multi-operating company. We've identified multiple industries that we want to operate in, build these companies, grow these companies, acquire companies, boost our balance sheet, dividend distribution, share our rewards and earnings with our shareholders. But what gets really interesting is our expertise, our 24% stake in a regulated exchange known as Avrio, to be able to offer security tokens within the business units of our subsidiaries and our operating companies. So we've created the hybrid approach of a traditional stock security with the support, know-how, expertise, and regulated processes for issuing tokens around the world for people to buy into our businesses and be part of our businesses.
Well, we mentioned we had a double header. I think you've got a friend to go ahead and join the conversation as well. So let's go ahead and bring on Doug. Doug, I'd love your insights. Welcome to the show. I'd love to kind of get your knowledge in terms of the tokenization angle a bit more and how you integrate security tokens with your company.
Sure. Yeah. So I've been in the security token business, I guess, since 2019. I brought INX, which is a security token broker dealer, and did the first ever IPO on the blockchain for digital securities. It was an ERC 1404 token that trades on the blockchain, IPO with a full prospectus. And on top of that, I've advised on, I'd say, about 10 different security tokens, all private Reg D, Reg S's. So I've got a little bit of a background in security tokens, I guess you could say. And what Brian has is something very unique in that he's got a public company, but within that public company, he's amassing assets that are in the tokenization space. Now, tokenization in 2019 sounded kind of boring, and we were really pushing it down people's throats, and they kind of were like, was that a meme coin? Like, what is it? And I think that Larry Fink has really turned around and said, this is the future.
Yeah.
And so what DLMI is really is it's a public company that allows people to have access to a company that's getting into the tokenization space. Now, when I've talked to Brian, I realized that he's got access through Esposito, one of his other companies, to a tremendous number of companies and IP. And tokenization isn't just about taking real estate and going out there and allowing anyone to own a little piece of real estate. It's certainly about that, but it's also about tokenizing people's futures, athletes, entertainment, IP. There's lots of IP out there. I always think about Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey did her Christmas song. Now, the Christmas songs no one really thought of at the time, but now generate tremendous amounts of money on an annual basis.
Yeah.
And I think that people want to own little parts of things. And not everyone can go out there. The little guy can't go out there and own a part of something very big, but the rich guy can, based on the rules of accredited investor. And what Brian wants to do is really bring Reg A's to the forefront to allow the retail investor access to different things. Now, when you do access to tokenization, people think about, well, I don't want to deal with wallets, right? The reason the Bitcoin ETF has amassed so many assets so very quickly is because you're buying Bitcoin without actually having to deal with a wallet. And the everyday investor wants to own Bitcoin, but would rather do it through his E-Trade account or her E-Trade account. And what DLMI is doing is essentially creating this umbrella company that I guess you could think of as the Berkshire Hathaway of tokenization, in that not only does it have ownership of tokenization, broker-dealer, ATS, transfer agent, but it also has ownership of the IP and the companies that will be tokenizing. Now, one of the hardest parts you have as a broker-dealer or ATS is going out there and finding people that want to tokenize. It's not easy. Number one is a private company. Raising capital is never easy. And number two, when you throw tokenization in there, it becomes very complicated.
Yeah.
You're going after a very specific genre of investor. And I think what Brian's looking to do, and why I've joined as an advisor here, is really he's looking to allow that access to absolutely anyone. And so DLMI can be that accredited investor that's buying something, but then the individual can buy DLMI and have access to it or exposure to it. And I think that's very unique. And I think that Brian's, certainly got some foresight into this.
You got a lot of high praise here, Brian. Would it be safe for me to assume that it's kind of like having a diversification using the Berkshire Hathaway example? It's kind of how I see it. Hey, you get a chance to be invested in a bunch of different aspects of it under the Diamond company. But my question is what I read earlier, where it was, you say that you use cutting edge tech, right? And the key word here also is setting new industry standards for security and compliance. How are you able to do that? And what exactly makes you cutting edge outside of what you've already mentioned, Brian?
Absolutely. That's a big part of our strategy and investment into Avrio, which is a platform with their tech stack that allows this cutting edge technology to be implemented, distributed, creating a primary offering for security tokens that want to be issued through our partners or through our own holdings, and then also being able to create liquidity and a demand in that secondary market. And that's one of the things Douglas was speaking about with my work and what I built over the last 23 plus years as an entrepreneur in my private holdings. Quite a lot of reach, involved in over 25 different industries. And when you speak about diversification, the structure here at DLMI is exactly that. And if you look at our advisors, they're very strategically picked because they're icons in their industry. So if you start to look at what does the future of DLMI look like and what are the industries that we'll be operating in, you can get a good idea by seeing that we're in commercial real estate, we're in hospitality, TV, film, music, and media, precious metals, and the list goes on. As we continue to build this out and build a program, and what I believe the future perfect model of public vehicles is the program that we've created here at DLMI. You have your traditional stock, your traditional growth as far as building value there, boosting those balance sheets, using traditional access to capital, and with a component of a security token offering baked into it. It only makes sense as to the future of digitizing securities, but also doing it in a systematic method that people can gradually go along the ride. We make it very easy for someone that's used to going on their Charles Schwab account, the Morgan Stanley account, and they want to be in the digital asset space. we want to be that public vehicle that they want to hold in their portfolio, and also something that they're very familiar with. And when security tokens go mainstream and they're accessible just to click on your traditional brokerage accounts like you do with your current stocks and commodities, that's when it really starts to kick into high gear. But in the interim, we've created a very simple method and a very easy way for people to be in this industry that aren't in it.
Well, it's not just your advisors that are getting, the praise. It's also when you were appointed or announced that you were appointed CEO, your stock saw a big jump on that aspect. Douglas, one final question to you. Sometimes too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. And what I'm saying here is, does more light that is shed on Bitcoin and the crypto market as a whole, does it help or hurt your efforts in tokenization, kind of like messing up the message about it all?
No, it absolutely helps. You've got to get rid of the bad actors. And I think that that's been really the last 18 months. People may curse at the SEC, but what they've really done is they've cleaned the board so that what we're dealing with is good actors.
Yeah.
And good actors is key for folks to start using something. Now, when a new technology comes out, everyone poo-poos it. When the car first came out, right, everyone said, you know what, we don't like this. And the horse industry was pushing against it and had 2 horses before and 2 horses behind the car as it was driving down the street. When the cell phone came out, we all heard that we would get cancer from using it. New technology always has people pushing against it. And then it hits the mainstream after the old technology guys have figured out how to make money with the new technology.
Yeah.
And I think that, Larry Fink said, and this is important, he said with the Bitcoin ETF, this is the first step. The second step is tokenization. Interestingly, the first token that BlackRock is going to be doing has already gone out there. They've talked about it. It's going to be in securitized, and it's on the Ethereum blockchain. And now he says, he's talking about the Ethereum ETF. So, all of this large companies getting involved, Wall Street getting involved, is key for this to become something that becomes much, much larger than people have expected. Now, tokenization is efficient. It takes away friction. It gets rid of all of these middle folks that are making a lot of money. It's not great for everyone. It's not great for the guys that are taking crumbs after crumb off of every single deal that need to be in the deal structure today.
Yeah.
But it's going to be great, I think, for the investor, and certainly much more efficient for the issuer.
One industry that reminds me of is kind of like the sports betting world, where I remember 10, 20 years ago, it was kind of like hush and taboo. And now you've got it broadcasted on ESPN, national television. Now ESPN has their own betting platform as well. So you're absolutely right. People are hesitant in the beginning, then you get used to it because you have the younger generation, or a new generation for that matter, get adjusted to what's going on. Brian, any final thoughts from you?
Just so honored to be a part of Benzinga's media program. Thank you guys for always supporting us. And we're extremely honored to have Douglas join our team. His expertise, he's such a seasoned professional in the space. So to have his support and the rest of the team continue to push what we're doing forward as leaders in this space, it's very humbling. And, my main job here is to create value for our shareholders and to protect our shareholders. And I think we've got something quite special that we're proving that we're doing a good job at it.
And they're trusting you to do that because, like I said, as soon as you got appointed and were announced, your stock saw a nice little bump. Douglas, Brian, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Well.
Absolutely. And that is Douglas, who is the advisor, and Brian, who is the CEO of Diamond Lake Minerals. Ticker is DLMI. And we want to thank you, the viewers, for watching All Access.